Hey everybody, I'm gonna show you how to make what has become my new favorite sort of dessert cocktail. I'm gonna shoot this video completely without edits because A, I don't have the technology to pull off smooth edits, B, I don't have the patience to edit my videos, and C, I feel like if you watch this whole process unedited, it will probably inspire you to create it better than a heavily edited video would. So let me start with what you're going to need. You're going to have to start with a pot that has maybe a quarter or even an eighth full of water. You want to get that steaming. So I'm going to put it up to just a low temp. Get that water steaming. You're going to want 2 eggs, preferably organic, and I only say that because it's possible that when you're finished this drink, the eggs in it will not be fully cooked. So organic is the safest way to avoid salmonella if your eggs in your cocktail aren't fully cooked. You're going to want a little bit of rum. That's what that is there. Reddi-wip. Vanilla extract. Please use the real stuff, not the fake crap. Cloves, cinnamon sticks, ground cinnamon, whole milk. If you're like on the creamy side of things, you might want to use heavy cream or half and half. I'm going to use milk. And cocoa powder. Now, previous times I've made this, I haven't added any cocoa powder, but I just thinking about it and tasting it the last couple times I've made it, I felt like maybe a pinch or 2 of that would add to it. So I'll put that on at the very end and see if it enhances it at all. But anyways, you're seeing that water is starting to get steamy. So you want to put a mixing bowl over top that steaming water. And you want to crack a couple eggs into it. And because I'm an inept cook and I don't want to do this with one hand, I'm going to put this here, crack the eggs in. Alright, so I cracked 2 eggs in there. I'm going to start with a little bit of milk. And then as the eggs and the milk sits over that steaming water, I'm just going to start to whisk. Just whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk. And you're going to be doing a lot of this while you prep this, because you want it to be really, really nice and foamy and bubbly at the end of the process. That's looking really yellow. I'm going to have to add a little bit more milk. Add a little bit more. Alright. These are just extra high-powered yolks in these. See, I haven't used these eggs before for anything. I got these at the Metropolitan Market in Tacoma yesterday. They're supposed to be locally harvested and high-quality organic eggs. I really just don't want to get salmonella. Alright, so once you whisked a little bit, let me put this back down. Because somebody was supposed to be helping me to film this, but they decided that they didn't feel like doing it tonight, so I'm on my own. I'm going to put in this, while I continue whisking, I'm going to put a cinnamon stick in. I'm going to put a little dash of cloves, a little bit of vanilla extract, just a little bit, not too much. Oh, and I totally forgot an ingredient. I have to put white sugar in it too. Let me find my white sugar. It's up here. Yeah, it's funny, you know, all these professional cooks, they lay out everything that you're supposed to have in your recipe, and I thought I had everything and I didn't. So, a little bit of sugar. Keep whisking. Alright, so at this point you have 2 eggs, a cinnamon stick, some sugar, some milk, and we're just sort of rapidly whisking this over the steaming water as it heats up. It's gonna, in theory, it's gonna gradually cook the eggs, but the eggs aren't gonna solidify if you continue whisking as it cooks. This is the dull, boring part of the process. Whisk, 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 relentlessly. Because if you don't, and you have to really get that whisk down to the bottom of that bowl too, because you don't want any parts of that egg to solidify while it's steaming. If they do, it'll ruin the drink and will just be inedible. So just keep whisking, keep whisking, keep whisking. You can test with the finger to see how warm your egg mix is. And to see how tasty it is. I'm going to put a little bit more sugar in that. Here's the rapid whisk. Alright, so honestly, I don't want to overcook the egg, and I feel like it's probably steamed enough, so I'm going to put the rum in now. Stir it up some more. Alright, so I've put the rum in, I've turned off the heat, and I'm going to keep stirring it. I don't see any little bits of egg in there, so I think my rapid whisking process was successful. You see it's getting nice and foamy. And you don't want to cook out the alcohol from the drink, but you do want it, you don't want the cold rum to chill what you've just made, so you might want to give it just a minute to kind of achieve a general warmth as you whisk it further. Alright. Alright, so you need a spoon to make sure that it doesn't taste like shit. Nope, it tastes pretty wonderful. Just get a little bit more. Alright, so what you got at the end of this process is a foamy, spicy, creamy, sweet, warm kind of dessert drink, which is kind of weird to present to you in the middle of summer, but I just recently became addicted to this, so, you know, it's simply a coincidence that it happened in the middle of the dead middle of summer. Oh, And I totally forgot. I was going to put a little bit of cocoa powder in this just to see if it livened it up a bit. Whisk in a little bit of that. This could completely ruin it, or it could make it delicious. We'll see. Definitely giving it a darker color than the last time I made it, which is fine. And, you know, the basis for this was an Italian drink recipe, and I can't remember the name of it. Something that I saw in a cocktail book a long time ago. And the first time I made it, it wasn't very good, but recent times I've attempted the same recipe, it's come out considerably better. So I did something wrong back then that I did correctly this time. Alright, the battery's running out on my camera, so I gotta hurry up and do this. Pour it into a glass. Get your ready bit. Whip on there. Sprinkle of cinnamon. You know, you could put chocolate syrup on it, or chocolate chips, or whatever you like to put on a dessert drink. But that's basically it. You got a warm, eggy, spicy, creamy drink with rum, a little bit of whipped cream, a little bit of sprinkled cinnamon, make it look pretty, and it'll taste absolutely delicious, I virtually guarantee. Unless, of course, the final addition of the cocoa powder ruined it, but I don't think it did, because I didn't put that much in, and it seemed like a nice complement to what was already there. So, there's your midnight dessert, mid-July cocktail.